Tigers fans got some other interesting and good news. You could say that might affect all of baseball and specifically the Cubs, which I'm going to get into next. But the you don't have it there in Chicago. You have at least the White Sox are on NBC Sports Chicago on the Comcast network. The What we have in the rest of the country, or at least in Michigan, we have Bally Sports. That used to be Fox
That's here in
Sports.
Kansas too.
Okay, that's perfect. You are in Kansas right now, and this is happening for Kansas City Royals fans as well. I'm not sure if it's the exact same timing, but Bally Sports Plus has been released for 5 markets across the country, including my Detroit Tigers, where you can finally order an app to watch all of your home market team games. The MLB TV app has been available for almost 2 decades now. But you could buy that, but not watch your home team on that app. It was blacked out due to essentially big deal cable negotiations where the cable providers wanted no part of streaming getting in on their game, and the cable TV stations wanted to make sure all the advertising dollars were going their way and not to a streaming app. Well, finally, after years of fans and anyone with any knowledge of the situation or any interest in streaming baseball games and especially streaming their home teams has been screaming for years, we're finally seeing that come to fruition. Literally today, Tigers fans can watch Tigers games on their mobile devices anywhere they want to go, even including in Detroit, in Michigan, in market, in the ballpark if they want to. That is something that has never happened before, which is amazing. We're in 2022 and today is June 23rd, 2022, and we are finally seeing that for the first time.
Is this available now? Here's my question. So can you do it via, if you have a cable subscription, can you log in and watch the games?
I haven't,
or is it paid?
I'm sure you can.
Or is it both?
I think I'm sure it's both. I don't have that detail, but I don't know why they wouldn't do that. The headline is that if you don't have a cable subscription, you can buy this app for $20 a month and get Tigers games.
That's very, very cool.
In Detroit, that also means you get Pistons and Red Wings games too, because Bally has the rights for those too. So not only can you get it on your cable channel, you can now, if you don't want cable, if you want to completely cut the cord, you can get Tigers games on your apps, on your mobile devices, on your Apple TV, on your Roku, on your Fire Stick, whatever.
Yeah. This is step one to the cable business being obsolete.
Well, the cable business, they're the ones that are running this, though. It is Sinclair Cable, a company that provides content to the cable companies. They've been working out this deal for decades now with the cable companies and Major League Baseball, who have both been obviously dragging their feet all this time. I think what it's doing is it's just kind of changing. The cable companies are still going to get their money. They're just getting it in different ways. They're going to be you already see it with Peacock and other things at Comcast. They're not shying away from streaming. They're embracing it in just different ways, and we're just in a transition period essentially. I still think the same people are going to make the same money. It might be a few different people are making money, but cable companies I don't think are going anywhere. They're still going to be your internet service provider. They're gonna find their way to make money off of this, through their deals with Major League Baseball and other content providers. But the reason this transitions well into the Chicago Cubs is because I brought this up many times in our segment, Marquee Network drama, because Bally Sports is owned by Sinclair. And the Marquee Network is also owned by the Chicago Cubs and Sinclair in a partnership. So I'm actually kind of surprised I'm making this announcement and rejoicing here in Michigan before the Marquee Network is even able to do the same thing. Since there should be even less red tape to deal with, since Cubs are part owner of that. in which obviously Major League Baseball has an interest, and Sinclair. So what I do think it means is the Marquee network will soon be available to anyone, even without a cable subscription. You can simply pay whatever it is they determine in that market. Uh, I think it'll be a little bit different than here in Detroit, just because, like I mentioned, you're also getting all the other content on Bally Sports Detroit, essentially, which also includes the Pistons and the Red Wings. Marquee obviously is its own little entity, although they have branched out into covering. I think they have all the Chicago Sky games. Um, they have had some Bears content, like some analysis shows. No, necessarily they're not partners with the Bears. I don't
Right.
believe. We've seen some synergy with the Blackhawks in their past. I'm not sure if they're going to have any Blackhawks content. There are mitigating factors, of course, with NBC Sports Chicago, being owned 50% by Jerry Reinsdorf and the White Sox and Bulls. Then they're also with the Blackhawks too. So not sure how that's going to play out, but I think the writing's on the wall now that the bubble has been burst in markets including Detroit and Kansas City, where you're sitting. There are three other markets that I forget who they are and if they're all launching today necessarily, but the dam is broken. Marquee Network will soon be there. That was the major sticking point. The Marquee Network has obviously had a lot of issues upon its launching during a pandemic, launching uh, with the Cubs in decline and now severe decline. So maybe they're postponing that for after they sign a major free agent in the off season, or who knows what their plan is to unveil that. But if you are a Cubs fan, I think you can look forward to, if you have cut the cord, you are going to also be able to catch your Cubs games for a nominal fee, whether it's the same $20 as I'm paying or as people can pay for here in Michigan and Kansas City. I don't know. I guess $20. If you had cut the cord and were streaming services for baseball, I think you'd pay whatever it took. I think I would too. $20 doesn't seem outrageous a month. I think it's for a year, it's $189. If that was the case with your White Sox, I think something similar is going to happen eventually with NBC Sports. What do you think about $20 a month for that? Is it outrageous or?
Well, $20 a month, and then I'd probably also be getting like Bulls and Blackhawks games.
Right.
That would be the same network, so that doesn't seem crazy.
So what about $20 for Marquee, where it's essentially Cubs? I know you're not a Cubs fan, but if you were, would they have to lower that price? Do you think it should be $15 or?
Well, I think yeah. Well, I think if you're down, like, so MLB app, if you do the monthlies, like $24.99 a month, but you get every major out of market game.
Out of market, yes.
Yeah. So like right now, I can watch the White Sox on it because I'm not in market.
Yeah, you're in Kansas City.
I'm in Kansas City. I'm in Wichita, Kansas. So
you don't plan on moving there and spending the rest of your life in Wichita, do you?
No, not just to stream White Sox games. No.
But you're pretty hardcore, so
I am hardcore, but not that hardcore. But I think $20 a month just for a team, even with like other programming and that is a little steep, especially if you put in context that $24.99
gets you everything else.
Gets you everything else. So
I think you're totally right, and that's kind of my thought. But I have a feeling that's exactly what the Cubs are going to charge, because that's what they do. They charge the most for everything. So giving the least.
I mean,
they'll argue that they give you all sorts of Cubs content all day long on Marquee Network, which has been their argument all along to start the network itself. So if you really don't need the other teams, it's a symptom of being in such a major market in Chicago with five major teams.
I mean, the other side to that coin is, since it doesn't require long-term commitments, you can just use it 4 months out of a year, 5 months out of a year.
That's the part I don't know about, if that's different per market, and I'm not even sure. Well, I've seen $20 per month here in in Detroit, but I wonder if the Cubs will say you have to pay for a whole year and it'll just average out to $20 a month, or because I can't imagine what their revenue streams look like in the off months, throughout the winter. So
Oh
they're
yeah.
gonna try and find ways to maximize that every month of the season. So I don't have much faith in the Cubs giving a discount or having reasonably priced anything, as we've seen with their ticket prices and concessions and everything else.
Yeah.
I think it's I'd be shocked if it was more than $20. That would be outrageous if they tried to go more than what other other markets are doing. So I think $20 is the benchmark, but I think for Marquee Network, I think the value would be at $10 even. 15 would.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or if you did like, even if you said like $100 a year, right? If you say you had to have a yearly subscription, it was like $89.99 or ninety nine
Yeah.
ninety nine, and you think about it. So what that's, I mean, it's
If you're only using it for 6 months, that's less. That's
yeah,
less than $20 a month if you look at it that way.
yeah. So I mean, it's gotta in reality probably you would think it has to have some sort of sweet spot like that.
Well, it's
But it
market
is the
market
Cubs, to your
forces
point.
determine that price, and
Yeah.
they have Crane Kenny and all of his stooges working hard on that, what that number should be optimally to maximize their profit. So if Cubs fans are going to pay it, they're going to charge as much as they possibly can. So that is what will happen. And so far, Cubs fans have shown they will pay whatever price it takes to go to games and pay for food and everything else. They are the second highest ballpark experience cost for a family to go to a game, as we talked about a couple episodes ago. But they have the 14th highest payroll. So they are right now charging you the most for the most mediocre product.
Word Hole Media.